Volunteers deliver daily supplies for immigrants who are stranded at the U.S. border. Tzu Chi volunteers accompany bone marrow donors and recipients through their journey. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tsai. Thank you for joining us. U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers travel to Tijuana, Mexico to deliver daily supplies to Central and South American immigrants who are stranded there. In addition to giving out practical gifts, they also plan to send teachers to the shelter so immigrant children can continue their studies.
Upon the arrival of the volunteers, children rush to help carry supplies.
They all want to help.
U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers crossed the border to deliver daily supplies, including blankets and Tzu Chi folding beds, to the immigrants stranded in Tijuana, Mexico. These are the best New Year gifts for them. At the temporary shelters set up by Caritas, the refugees come and go, usually staying here for 2 to 3 weeks. While the volunteers are seeing different refugees each time, they can feel their anxious minds.
I am very grateful to God and appreciate everything the shelter has provided us with. I've come here hoping to pursue a better future for my children.
Besides providing daily supplies, volunteers are also working to ensure the children here can continue to study.
Me da mucho gusto el estar hoy aquí con los miembros de la Fundación Tzu Chi.
I'm very happy to come over to the shelter with the volunteers today. We discussed our new plan. In the future, we will send teachers here to help children continue to study.
Vienen a este albergue.
When I start this project, I feel like it's too much work for me or for just a few persons. But I see the God is working with us. He sent angels like this place. When they start to come, I feel like thank you, God.
With the love and care of the Tzu Chi volunteers, these immigrants will be able to overcome the challenges they face in this foreign country.
Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Biyue operates a mushroom business with her husband in Taichung Xingshe district. She has been a volunteer on the bus serving Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital for 4 years. She not only accompanies the public going to the hospital, but also provides them with considerate assistance. She often shares her insights from watching DaAi television with others. The bus arrives at Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. 91-year-old Mr. Huang came to visit his son who is hospitalized, but he has no information other than his name. After the staff found the information, Wang Biyue accompanied Mr. Huang to his son's ward and chatted with him on the way. Wang Biyue has been a transport volunteer for the Zhuolan Xingshe line for nearly 4 years. Seeing people suffering has taught her to cherish her blessings.
When I saw these people who suffered illness, I learned to cherish my life. It has inspired me to serve people in need and do something for them.
She treated every passenger as her family and assisted them in every way.
It's very nice and convenient. I also got cookies. She even brought me to the ward and provided a wonderful service.
She has practiced Dharma Master Zheng Yan's teachings, which is to be professional with your heart.
In the beginning, her parents-in-law opposed her volunteering. It was not until her father-in-law went to see doctors in Tzu Chi Hospital that he realized how meaningful her act was.
I accompanied him to see the doctor and took the bus with him. He then understood what we've been doing.
Wang Biyue and her husband operate a mushroom business at home. Watching DaAi television together is what they love to do in their leisure time.
I've invited many people to watch DaAi dramas. I've gained a lot of inspiration from the stories.
Her husband fully supports her to walk the Tzu Chi path and is willing to follow her.
I eat a vegetarian meal every morning and also every 1st and 15th day of the month with her.
Wang Biyue is joyfully devoted to her family and Tzu Chi missions. She believed that the more she gives, the more her life will be fulfilling. A DaAi Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Yahui has learned about Tzu Chi's work from watching DaAi television when the 9/21 earthquake struck. She was then inspired to start volunteering with Tzu Chi. On top of caring for her bedridden mother-in-law after work, she still makes time to volunteer at the recycling station. She has saved up her expense to donate $30,000 to Tzu Chi to help people in need.
When 9/21 earthquake struck, I watched DaAi TV and saw many people giving of themselves. I was deeply touched. However, I'm not very wealthy, and my children were still young. I thought to myself, if other people can make donations, why can't I? My donating members are my customers. If they want to carry out good deeds, I can act as a bridge, telling them that they can help people by making a monthly donation. We don't designate how much people have to donate. We do it according to our abilities. It represents our willingness to give.
She truly seizes every minute of her life. She carries out Tzu Chi's work and rushes home to care for her 83-year-old mother-in-law after working at the market.
Recycling is my favorite job. After I'm done with work, I'd be really happy to be able to spend half an hour or an hour at the recycling station. Donating $30,000 to Tzu Chi was difficult. However, Master Zheng Yan has said that with the will comes the strength. I saved money in water and electricity. One time I saved enough electricity that I did not have to pay for the monthly bill.
Sister Yahui is really Master Zheng Yan's good disciple. She makes good vows and carries out good deeds. She is a role model for all of us. Kaohsiung Tzu Chi volunteer Cai Chou-feng suffered a stroke 6 months ago when he was traveling abroad. Fortunately, he was rushed to the hospital in time and has made a full recovery. He says his good fortune is due to the blessing he has cultivated from being a volunteer for many years.
Now when I come here, I think of my youth when we lived in the straw house near the beach. At that time, my parents were very poor and we dug sweet potatoes. We would dry it and then cook it into porridge.
Born into poverty, Cai Chou-feng knows about the importance of helping the poor. When he was young, he was moved by a phrase spoken by Dharma Master Zheng Yan.
I heard Master Zheng Yan said, "There's no way to change others. To change others, you must first change yourself."
After he retired at the age of 39, he devoted himself to Tzu Chi.
In that year, there was a lack of rubber boats during a major flood in Kaohsiung's Gansan. A special water transport group was established to send water and food, as well as rescue work.
The Kaohsiung Water Transport Group took on heavy responsibilities in natural disasters, which occurred during the prime of his life. He also had no regrets participating in rescue efforts associated with the 9/21 earthquake.
On that day, I led Tzu Chi brothers from the Southern District Rescue Team to the disaster area.
Providing emergency rescue assistance for trapped people and later helping build prefab houses, in October of the same year, an earthquake in Chiayi led the Daji Middle School to suffer damage to school buildings. As groundbreaking on new construction began, it started to rain, though this did not stop the work.
Because it's raining, Tzu Chi brothers and sisters don't get too hot when they work.
Now that he is 64 years old, he no longer works at the front line of emergency response. Instead, he works quietly in the community. Despite taking a step back, accidental illness still happened. On a trip to Italy on June 2018, he suddenly had a stroke.
There was brainstem bleeding, but I was quite lucky as my savior was nearby and sent me to the hospital immediately. I remember what Master Zheng Yan said. Those who sow the seeds of blessing shall harvest plentiful blessings. These blessings don't just happen, they are earned by us.
How Tzu Chi bone marrow donations allow recipients to be served is due to the dedication and companionship of countless volunteers. From receiving donor information, follow-up visits, blood sample work, health checks, and the final stage of donation, volunteers accompany donors through the whole process. This is our donor, a very caring donor. We are now going for the 4th dose of growth hormone today. After the shot today, we will go to Hualien to do the donation tomorrow.
Many are sick, and because of cancer, they die. In fact, many have no chance. They want to survive, and there's no way for them to live. We were lucky to find a match. If I undergo this hardship for a few days, someone has the chance to keep living. So this makes sense to me.
The purpose for me to hand this banner is to remind me to be compassionate. When someone comes to me, I can still introduce this, and I can always promote this cause at any time. When I hand this, I think that I can easily find successful donors.
As soon as Tzu Chi brothers and sisters do a marrow donation recruitment activity, I asked them about what they were promoting, and I learned that it was healthy, and then I became a donor. If I didn't donate bone marrow, I couldn't stop smoking and drinking, and it would be impossible for me to have a healthy body now. This enables me to do meaningful things. When I donated bone marrow at the time, they said it wouldn't hurt, but that was a lie. When I woke up and opened my eyes, the first thing I felt was how painful it was. A nurse gave me a pain relief shot. And then I saw Tzu Chi's sisters, and I told them I was hungry. I would like to have something small to eat. She immediately went to the basement and got a bowl of congee to feed me. And then they made a nutritious soup for me for 7 days in a row. 地下室去帮我买了一碗稀饭。师兄，我现在去哪里？Now we're going to pick up a donor and take them for post-op follow-up. 捐赠的术后追踪。
Because I underwent this journey, so I want to let other people know about my hardship and how I was able to continue with my health. I want to continue impacting people and inspire them to participate in this blood registration drive.
Doing this often leads me to cry. This is because, first of all, I encounter bone marrow recipients who are having difficulty. We want to be their savior, but there can be hardships. But we have to overcome these hardships to help these recipients. If we don't help, how can they survive? In the summer of 2016, Typhoon Nipartak had struck Minqing County in Fujian Province in China. In addition to disaster relief, volunteers also been providing aid supplies for the affected families every winter for 3 years consecutively. This year, volunteers brought daily supplies, winter clothes, and blankets to care recipients home directly. Volunteers lined up to get on the cars. They are ready to begin their trip. Fuzhou Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for impoverished residents after Typhoon Nipartak for 3 years. This year, they delivered the supplies to the residents' home.
The government advocates door-to-door service now. It makes people feel more intimate and warm when we go into their houses.
Volunteers visited a scholarship recipient family and delivered winter clothes for the single-parent family.
We bring over some items because it's winter and the Lunar New Year is almost here. All these are kindness from Tzu Chi members all over the world. We bought some supplies and delivered them to your home along with their love and blessings.
Ling Qing lives with her grandmother. Volunteers put blankets on their bed, hoping to keep them warm.
奶奶，你摸一下，晚上睡觉睡这里很舒服哈，很暖和。你28天这个也可以盖的哈。
Volunteers give out the eco-friendly blanket as well as their sincere care.
你知道它是什么做的吗？
那个鸭毛，是不是10年做的？不知道。
这个是用那个矿泉水瓶回收来做的。
没想到。
All of these care recipients were affected residents of Typhoon Nipartak. Volunteers have been continuing to care for them since the summer of 2016.
Last year, they've distributed cotton underwear for us to wear it during the coldest days.
We're deeply grateful that Tzu Chi delivered quilts and rice here for us directly.
Despite the winter coldness, residents in the mountainous areas have kept their hearts warm because of the love they received from Tzu Chi. In Kunshan, Jiangsu, there is a mother who either scavenges in the landfill or works partially in a factory in order to support the family financially. For 2 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for this family to provide financial assistance for children to pursue an education. The children have studied hard to achieve good grades, making both the volunteers and their mom very proud.
A sledgehammer, large pilliers, or even a nut and bolt driver, Zhang Dali is able to handle all these tools easily.
To work in the labor field isn't easy at all. It's very tiring.
People often said there's nothing a mother can't do. Miss Zhang is able to handle the hard labor task.
Although my job is tiring, but I still need to do it. What happens if I don't earn money? My children need to eat every day. As long as I have money, I can put up with the fatigue.
The temporary job doesn't pay much, but it does allow her to be able to both drop and pick her children up from school. During the monthly visit, Tzu Chi volunteers will also walk with both her and her children. It's been over 2 years already. The mother will tell us that the children are waiting excitedly for us to come. We were touched after hearing this. While thinking about the times we spent together over these years, I've realized they are just like family to me.
有没有觉得好幸福？怎么幸福？
因为是故意来看我。
The father had left the home 6 years ago, leaving behind the grandmother, mother, younger brother, and an uncle with mental disabilities. The rented house is in conjunction with an oil sorting station. Although their living conditions aren't so good, the children are content and positive.
My mother always told me not to compare ourselves with others, but rather have the self-motivation to be better. She often says, tomorrow should be better than today. So we must maintain a positive attitude every day. This can help us go through the difficulties in life and also face the upcoming challenges with an eased mind.
To show their gratitude toward the volunteers, both the sister and brother studies hard to exceed good grades in school.
哎呀，100分，害羞不敢跟师姑讲啊。
对呀，现在走了，拿过来给我看。
快点跟师姑讲什么？
然后你好棒。
Life is a bumpy road. Miss Zhang is the one holding the steering wheel, driving the family toward a better future.
It feels like I have been towing a car. When I'm exhausted, you guys gave me the strength to overcome the difficulties. After my children grow up, I would like them to join Tzu Chi and help other people who are in need as well.
Let's head to Indonesia's second Great Love Village. In the beginning of 2018, local Tzu Chi volunteers held a cleanup competition and also set up a recycling station within the village. They taught young children how to store various recyclable goods and prepare their own reusable utensils. Now, not only have the children become earth protectors, but they've made huge impacts on their family members as well.
Once upon a time, the streets and alleyways of the Great Love Village 2 in Indonesia were littered with trash. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers took the initiative and held an environmental cleanup competition. The whole village came to participate.
For the children, we have to keep the environment clean. This way they can grow up in good health. If they live in a dirty setting, it's easier to get sick.
It's not just to keep the environment clean and tidy, but also to protect Mother Earth. A recycling station was set up in the village, and environmental protection concepts are taught from a young age.
Through simple drama demonstrations, we can point out the wrong behaviors and teach them ways to correct it.
I will help to keep the environment clean. I will also help my mother with household chores.
Environmental protection concepts are taught at the recycling station, then transmitted back into each household. From children to adults, everyone's becoming more aware. Even Yuda, who is developmentally delayed, knows that many items need to be recycled. He's been having a positive influence on his parents.
On the way to the market, if he sees a PET bottle, he would say we struck gold. Because a Tzu Chi volunteer once told him that recycling PET bottles are like collecting gold.
Through the efforts of the past year, the Grayla village too has become beautiful and clean. It's not just the environment, but the attitude is different as well. During an activity, everyone prepared their very own reusable utensils and bowls.
Environmental awareness needs to start from the home. In our daily lives, it starts with bringing one's own bento boxes and water bottles. And then they really did it. When lining up to get the food, they were all very neat and patient. Before it was chaotic, everyone would be running all over the place.
Change our bad habits in order to make our lives better. The new year is shining brighter than ever.
For Singapore, Tzu Chi volunteers travel to Cambodia to help out at the volunteer training sessions. Besides passing down Tzu Chi's principles, volunteers also share their experiences on conducting home visits, hoping to invite more local people to join.
4 Singapore Tzu Chi volunteers came to Cambodia to attend volunteer training. The focus of the event is Tzu Chi's 10 precepts.
We should think about how to change ourselves for the better. We hope to get rid of bad habits during the process.
Volunteers travel here from afar, hoping to pass down Tzu Chi principles and invite more local people to do good deeds. Some of the volunteers also share their experiences.
I will prepare a determined and loving heart for care recipients.
I hope to see the family that I visited last time again. I remember a grandmother felt very happy when she saw me. She hugged me and kissed me on my cheek. I felt very touched. Besides inspiring the participants' compassion, volunteers also taught them how to help others and conduct home visits.
The people we helped are all Cambodians. We helped our own fellow countrymen. We, as volunteers in training, also helped our family and other people in need.
Through dramas, group discussions, and drills, everyone diligently learns the ways to help impoverished people.
Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers went into a residential community in northern Jakarta to promote recycling. After 4 months' effort, residents have changed their attitude from indifference to actively involved in improving the environment. We'll leave you with these images and thank you for joining us. Goodbye.